Episode 24, Operation Undercut. The tunnels beneath HQ reeked of rust and old war, like the place had been bleeding for decades, and no one bothered to clean up the mess. Pipes groaned overhead. Moisture dripped from the ceiling in slow, steady taps that felt too much like a countdown. Everlyn raised 2 fingers. 40 wolves froze as one. They didn't breathe. They didn't fidget. They simply became stillness. 3 peeled upward into the overhead pipework, vanishing like smoke. 6 spread out behind as silent rearguard. 12 disappeared into parallel tunnels. The rest closed in around Everlyn, Kane, Lira, Kalen, and Malik, forming a shifting living shield of fur and muscle. Malik stared as they moved. 40 sets of padded paws landed without sound. 40 silhouettes melted through the dark like predatory wraiths. "There's 40 of them," he whispered. Everlyn didn't look back. "There are 40 of us." The tunnel widened into a small chamber where 8 Xarthan soldiers huddled around a hollow map projected on the floor. Alien glyphs casting faint green across their armor. None of them heard the wolves. Kane didn't slow, but the wolves did. A shadow stirred above the Xarthans, 3 wolves clinging to overhead pipework, eyes glowing like faint embers. In one breath they dropped. The first slit a throat with a single rake of claws. The second snapped a rifle in half before crushing the soldier beneath it. The third slammed a soldier into the metal floor hard enough that the body folded around the impact. 3 seconds, 8 bodies, no growls, no snarls, no celebration, just clean, lethal efficiency. The scouts grabbed the bodies by armor straps and dragged them back into the dark without breaking stride. Somewhere behind the group, bone cracked between teeth. Lira stopped beside the splattered hollow map and planted her hands on her hips. Poor bastards never stood a chance. Kane watched the wolves disappear, arms folded, evaluating the precision like a man grading a training exercise. Efficient. Kalen crouched near a smear of blood, tracing the splatter with a fingertip, studying it like art. 3 seconds. They'll get faster. Malik swallowed. "They're eating them?" "They earned their meal," Kane said without looking back. Everlyn moved on. "Wolves waste nothing." Malik lingered at the sound of bones cracking in the dark. "Okay, that's new." They descended deeper. The farther they moved, the stranger the tunnels became. Steel walls gave way to something more organic. Metal wiring blended into pulsing conduits. Panels throbbed like veins lit from within. The air hummed. Alive and mechanical. All at once. Malik blinked. His new sight flared. Green light illuminating edges, heat signatures bleeding through walls. "There are multiple targets ahead," he murmured. "And machinery. Big." They stepped onto a balcony overlooking a cavern the size of a hangar. Below, a massive Xarthan drill rig clawed upward toward HQ. Teeth of metal tearing through bedrock, conveyor belts vomiting stone behind it. It wasn't digging a tunnel. It was carving a doorway. Kalen leaned against the railing, unimpressed. "They're tunneling into the command wing. And they have no idea what's waiting above it," Lira added, smirking. Malik narrowed his focus. Heat signatures rippled beneath the drill platform, one shape huge and motionless, armor absorbing the light like a black hole. "There's something big under the platform." Everlyn didn't hesitate. "We end it here." Wolves spread through the cavern, melting into steam and shadow. 40 eyes burned in the dark. Then the drill ground to a stop. A metallic boom rattled the cavern. Something rose behind the machinery. 9 feet of obsidian armor stepped into view. A Xarthan commander, towering, silent, multiple small eyes blinking out of sync across its faceplate. A blade fused to its left arm. Its voice crackled through a translator implant, flat and soulless. "Alpha located." Everlyn didn't flinch. "Pack," she said. "Drop them." The cavern erupted. Wolves hit like a storm of claws and fangs. Xarthians vanished under fur and rage, dragged off scaffolding, thrown against walls, torn apart before they could scream. Kane exhaled once, the only warning before bones shifted, fur broke through skin, and he transformed mid-stride. Sapphire eyes lit the dark. He hit the first soldier with all the force of a truck and ripped him open like wet fabric. Lira sprinted to the railing, laughing, leapt off it mid-shift, and landed on a Xarthian's shoulders. She tore out the throat with her teeth, blood misting the air as she dropped the corpse. "I missed this," she hissed, feral grin wide. Kalen moved like a scalpel, no wasted breath, no wasted motion, slicing through enemies with surgical precision. Malik froze. His pulse hammered. Chaos, blood, screaming metal. I don't... Everlyn caught his jaw with one hand. Her grip was iron, immovable. Golden eyes burned into him. "You don't think your way into the wolf," she said softly. "You let it take you." Malik felt her strength. How she held him without effort. How the hell is she that strong? A Xarthian soldier spotted an opening and lunged toward Everlyn. Kalen moved to intercept. But Malik's instincts detonated. Muscles tore under his skin. Fur rippled across his arms. Claws erupted from his fingers. He slammed into the soldier so hard the wall dented. He grabbed the body and ragdolled it side to side, armor shrieking. Then, his jaws clamped down on the throat. Blood splattered the metal. Malik froze, panting, horrified and alive all at once. Kane looked up from a torn corpse, fangs dripping. "Welcome to Tuesday nights." The commander moved, faster than anything that size should move. Kane turned. Too late. The blade arm drove straight through his ribs. Air punched from his lungs. He crashed to the metal floor, blood pooling fast beneath him. Everlyn pivoted, eyes blazing into molten gold. "Malik." Something primal snapped into place. Green light flared in Malik's eyes, feral and focused. He stepped forward. On it. He launched himself at the commander. Everything went black. Episode 25, Bloodline Awakened. Malik hit the commander like a missile made of claws and fury. The platform shook on impact. Steel groaned. Dust rained. The reptilian alien's engineered armor dented under the force, matter plating screeching where Malik's claws dug in. Behind them, Kane lay face down where he fell. Ribs carved open from the blade arm strike. Blood pooled beneath him in slow, thick drips. Lira dashed to him instantly, half-shifted, red eyes blazing. "Kane." "Hey, stop pretending you're dead," she growled, shoving his shoulder. "Get up." No response. She narrowed her eyes. "Oh, don't start with this silent crap." Kalen stood steady at Everlyn's side, calm, surgical, scanning the battlefield. A quick analytical glance Kane's way. "He's breathing," Kalen said. "Shallow, controlled." Lira scoffed. "Yeah, controlled. Because he's being dramatic." Kalen nodded once. "That matches his behavior." Lira jabbed him harder. "Kane, seriously, up." Still nothing. She leaned in close, teeth bared. "If you're doing this to wind me up." Kane exhaled the faintest smug laugh into the metal floor. Lira jerked back. "You absolute..." Kalen smirked. "Told you he was fine." Everlyn didn't look back. Her golden alpha glow pulsed hotter, bright enough to throw shadows. Her voice detonated through the cavern. "Wolves, push." 40 wolves surged forward in perfect formation, red and blue eyes slicing through steam as they smashed into the remaining Xarthian soldiers. Malik roared as he drove the commander backward, claws carving molten grooves through armor. The alien swung its matter-forged blade arm at him, missing his throat by inches, sparks raining where it sliced the air. Malik didn't flinch. He slammed the alien into a support pillar hard enough to bend the steel. Lira shouted from behind Kane, "Yeah! Rip him apart!" Kalen kept formation at Everlyn's side, cold and coiled. Everlyn watched Malik with pure alpha focus. "Malik," she said, though she never spoke any words. His head snapped toward her, radioactive green eyes burning. Everlyn's voice went primal, commanding, absolute. Finish it. Malik launched. The commander tried to raise its blade arm. Too slow. Malik crashed into it like a freight train, claws ripping, teeth tearing. He tore the blade arm off at the joint with a shriek of matter metal. The alien screeched, collapsing under him. Malik slammed its armored skull into the deck. Once, twice, 3 times. The plating split. The body went still. Silence fell heavy. Steam hissed. Blood dripped. Wolves panted. Malik stood over the commander's corpse, trembling, adrenaline, rage, and something rawer shaking his entire frame. Behind him. Yo. Malik spun, claws still raised. Kane was standing, barely, but smirking. Lira supported him, laughing so hard she nearly lost her balance. Kane clutched his ribs dramatically. "Oh, Malik. I didn't know you felt that way." Malik froze, furious, relieved, embarrassed, then let out a weird laugh growl he couldn't control. You absolute pain in the... He abandoned the sentence mid-rage and just kept laughing under his breath. Everlyn approached, steady hand on his shoulder. "You did well," she said. Malik huffed, still glaring at Kane. Kane winked. "What? Thought I died?" "Cute." Lira snorted. Kaylin rolled her eyes in elegant disappointment. Everlyn's glow dimmed to its usual golden burn. She turned to the wolves. "Form up. We're not done." 40 wolves emerged from the steam, snarling, victorious, loyal, eyes glowing through the haze. Everlyn looked up the tunnel path. This war wasn't slowing down. At the edge of Sol's system, the Xarthan warship drifts, its hull a fusion of reptilian scale and engineered matter, glowing faint green. Inside, the command chamber hums like a living thing. Monak, High Hunter, stands tall, visor slit glowing sharp neon. A hologram replays the cavern battles, Kane taking the blade, Malik's monstrous shift, Everlyn's golden-eyed command, wolves tearing through elite soldiers, the commander dying violently. A reptilian scout steps forward hesitantly. "Ground forces eliminated," he reports. "Commander unit neutralized. Recommend surface cleansing." Monak ignores him, enlarging Everlyn's face. Blood smeared across her cheek. His visor pulses. Data scrolls. Her scan overlays a second biological signature. Alpha trait. Active. Monak growls. The alpha trait persisted. The scout's frills twitch in shock. That is not possible. The host was terminated. The bloodline should have ended. Monak overlays Everlyn's readings with the previous alphas. Perfect match. "It transferred," Monak says. "Through blood. Before termination." Fear ripples down the scout's spine. "She carries the alpha?" "Yes." Monak opens scans of Kane, Lira, Malik, Kaylin, showing impossible regeneration, metabolic spikes, adaptation curves rising faster than expected. "Her pack is evolving beyond projections," Monak growls. "If she stabilizes, they will be uncontrollable." The scout swallows. "Orders, High Hunter?" Monak turns, visor narrowing like a predator's gaze. "Deploy the Hunter Division. Before the Alpha stabilizes the species." Episode 26, The Valley of Teeth. The tunnels hummed under flickering emergency lights as the werewolves made their way deeper into the mountain base. Steel grated beneath their boots, the echoes of their battle still clinging to them. Kane walked between Lira and Kaylin, back in human form. His shirt was stiff with dried blood, but the wound itself had sealed over, smooth and deceptively harmless. Regeneration always handled the surface first. He looked tired, but stable. Lira nudged him. "You sure you're all right?" Kane smirked. "If I say yes, do I get a biscuit?" Kaylin scanned him. "No bleeding. Pulse normal. Regeneration holding. He is stable." "Hear that?" Kane said. "Kaylin basically loves me." Lira rolled her eyes. "You're delirious." Then they were only steps from the medical wing when Kane inhaled to speak. His eyes rolled. His legs buckled. He collapsed without warning. Kane! Lira caught him before his skull hit steel. Kalen pressed 2 fingers to his neck. Pulse weakening. Rapid. Everlyn spun, golden glow flaring beneath her skin. Get him to Voss. Now. The pack surged forward, carrying him into the medbay. A minute earlier, he walked. Now he was fading. In the medical bay, Dr. Voss rushed forward immediately, snapping on gloves mid-stride. Down. Let me see. She cut open his shirt. The closed wound looked clean. Too clean. This sealed fast. Too fast. She swept her hybrid scanner, human test tech fused with stolen Xarthan circuitry, across his ribs. A hologram flickered rib cage, torn lung tissue, internal pooling, a deep puncture track, and embedded inside, a sliver of matter metal, pulsing faint green. Voss froze. That thing is transmitting. Kalen leaned closer. Meaning? It's sending a location signal, Voss said. Someone was tracking him. Lira growled softly. That blade-arm bastard put something inside him. Voss nodded slightly. Explains the serrated shape. Kalen added, it matches Xarthan commander weaponry. Voss breathed out. So this wasn't a cut, it was a tag. Her tone hardened. Hold him steady. Kalen gripped Kane's arm. Lira held his shoulders. Voss followed the incision projection, clamped onto the shard, and ripped it free with a sharp metallic crack. She dropped it into a containment cylinder. It hissed violently against the energy field. The scanner fell silent. There, Voss said. Tracker removed. She packed the wound, laid Regan mesh, sealed it, then stepped away to scrub and grab new dressings. Captain, She turned, stopped cold. The sealed wound was healing again, rapidly. Golden filaments spread through tissue, weaving faster than the Regan mesh could function. The wound was shrinking visibly. Captain, Voss whispered. This is not human healing. And it's not augmentation. This is something else entirely. Everlyn stepped closer quietly. Voss swallowed, fear and logic warring in her expression. Captain, before I jump to the wrong conclusion, I need you to tell me if this is alien contamination. Everlyn shook her head. It isn't. Then what is he? Voss asked. Everlyn nodded toward the side room. Come with me. Everlyn led Voss into a sealed briefing room. Metal walls, dim light. No eyes but theirs. Darius, Everlyn said. A tall werewolf soldier approached. Yes, Captain. Guard the door. No one enters. No one listens. Yes, ma'am. The lock clicked behind them. Inside, Voss placed the containment cylinder gently on the table. Her hands were tense. Her voice was quiet but urgent. Captain, that healing rate, the golden pattern. If it's not alien and it's not tech, then what is he becoming? Everlyn stepped forward. It isn't an infection, and it isn't a transformation caused by the Xarthians. Then answer me plainly, Voss said. I need the truth. Everlyn took a slow breath. My team, we're not fully human. We carry something old, something powerful, something engineered a long time ago. Voss frowned, tense and confused. Engineered? Everlyn nodded. We're werewolves. Voss blinked, not in disbelief, but in stunned recalculation. Her eyes flicked to the wound hologram again. Werewolves, she repeated slowly. That would explain your metabolic anomalies, your reflex patterns, your bone density scans, your healing. Everlyn raised an eyebrow. You've been studying us? I'm a doctor, Voss said. I study everyone. She leaned closer to the hologram. And this golden lattice isn't random. It's patterned, designed. It's beautiful. Everlyn softened a fraction. It's the alpha trait. My predecessor died in my arms. It passed to me. Now it's affecting the rest of the team. Kane bonded strongly. He's adapting faster. Voss stared at the scan, awe creeping into her expression. Captain, this isn't just extraordinary. This is revolutionary. Controlled regeneration at this level could change everything we know about medicine. Everlyn placed a hand on her shoulder. And right now, it changes nothing unless you keep it between us. Voss nodded immediately. Complete confidentiality. You have my word. Everlyn exhaled slowly. Good. Voss glanced back toward Kane. I need to monitor him closely. Very closely. Everlyn smirked faintly. Welcome to the madness. Voss whispered. I've never seen anything so incredible. After securing Voss's loyalty and Kane's condition, Everlyn made her way toward the command room with Kalen. The blast door slid open. Marshal Rook stood over hollow screens, scowling. You three, you're supposed to be on grunt patrol. What the hell happened to you? Everlyn stepped forward. We need to talk. Rook jabbed a finger at her. No. You explain how you ended up covered in blood after I told you to stand down. You ignored the anomaly readings in the lower tunnels, Everlyn said. Rook scoffed. They were noise. Structural glitches. Nothing more. You didn't check, Everlyn replied. You dismissed them. Rook straightened. Because my job is to keep this base from panicking over shadows. Everlyn stepped closer. They weren't shadows. Rook's expression cracked. What are you talking about? We found a Xarthan commander waiting under the base. Rook went pale. That's not possible. It's fact, Everlyn said. And it nearly killed one of my team. Rook shook his head in disbelief. You had no authorization. And you had every opportunity to act, Everlyn snapped. You didn't. Kalen stepped forward silently, her presence alone shutting Rook up. Everlyn leaned in. We're done waiting for you to hesitate. From now on, my team moves under my command. Rook swallowed. You're undermining. I'm preventing your inaction from getting people killed. Rook didn't argue. He couldn't. The pack gathered in the main operations hall. 40 werewolves, now in human form. Battered and blood-stained, standing under harsh industrial lighting. Everlyn stepped forward, golden glow rising beneath her skin. The Xarthans saw us in that cavern, Everlyn said. They saw us kill their commander. They saw that tracker fail. Kalen activated a holofeed. A sleek, needle-like Xarthan dropship descended from orbit, small, fast, and moving on a direct vector toward their mountain. Based on the intel we just intercepted, Kalen said, a Xarthan craft altered course the moment the tracker went dark. It's coming straight for us. The pack murmured uneasily. Everlyn narrowed her eyes. That fast? They reacted to losing the signal, Kalen said. This is a targeted response. Lira folded her arms. A small ship. Fast. No broadcast. No identifiers. They're not coming for diplomacy. No, Everlyn said. They're following the trail of their lost commander. She looked around the room at her werewolves, bruised, bloodied, loyal. Her golden eyes blazed. They think they're coming to hunt. The pack leaned forward as one. Everlyn smiled. They have no idea who they're walking into. High above the mountain, the Xarthan warship opened its drop bays. Small hunter pods, faster, leaner, silent, launched from the belly of the ship. Monak's voice echoed inside the craft. Find the Alpha. Break the pack. Everlyn felt the tremor long before sirens sounded. A shift in air pressure. A taste of danger. She smiled, slow and vicious. Good, she whispered. Let's hunt. Episode 27. The hunters arrive. The operations hall thrummed with tension, a low vibration rolling through steel beams as the pack assembled. 40 werewolves, bruised, bloodied, glowing faintly under industrial lights, stood at the ready. Everlyn felt their pulse beneath her skin, synced through instinct and shared survival. Kalen zoomed the hologram feed. A small Xarthan dropship streaked through the upper atmosphere like a burning needle. It's coming in fast, Kalen said. Too fast for a transport. Lira crossed her arms, staring at the feed. If it's a scout ship, it's the fanciest one I've ever seen. Everlyn felt the air shift, that pressure before lightning. They reacted the moment the tracker and Kane shut down. Kalen nodded. Whatever's inside, they're coming straight for us. The dropship continued descending, and then something unexpected happened. It split, not exploded, not malfunctioned. Split, cleanly, deliberately. 3 glowing segments broke away mid-fall, each stabilizing with its own thrusters. Kalen's eyes widened. That's not standard design, Lira hissed. Oh hell. They're deploying separately. Everlyn stepped forward, voice steady despite the rising concern. Positions. Defensive arc. They're not sending foot soldiers. They're sending specialists. Kalen tracked the 3 impact vectors. One heading toward the lower tunnel access, one toward ventilation, and one toward the old maintenance wing. Everlyn exhaled slowly. They're trying to split us. Move, now! Malik reached the tunnel first, still bruised from the cavern fight, still half-wild from the blood he'd spilled there. Dust drifted from overhead pipes as the pod hit the ground with the force of a meteor. The corridor shook, lights flickered. The pod was small, sleek, armored, blackened by re-entry heat. A faint, toxic green glow seeped through its seams. Malik growled, stepping closer. The pod hissed. A vertical slit opened down its center. Steel unfolded like a rib cage. And then it stepped out. Tall, broad, heavily armored, moving with deliberate, dominant weight. Bone trophies, claws, teeth, hung from its chest plate like medals. Its visor slit flared bright green as it scanned him. Hunter Prime, the tracker, the alpha killer of the triad. Malik's lips peeled back. You think you're big? He snarled. The tracker didn't speak, didn't roar, didn't posture. It simply moved, a blur of black armor and green light rushing straight at him. Malik barely had time to brace before it hit like a freight train. Lira reached the ventilation chamber just as the second pod carved a smoking trench through the wall. Kane, half-bandaged, staggered behind her. Stay, Lira ordered, not looking back. If I stay, Kane said breathlessly, I'll still be annoyed. I'd rather be annoyed and helpful. You're not shifting, she hissed. You tear your wound open. I swear I'll kill you myself. The pod cracked open, smoother than the first, its panels sliding apart like surgical instruments. A figure stepped out. Streamlined armor, calm, symmetrical helmet. A glowing green biocore vial hung from a chain across its chest. Its visor slit pulsed slowly, assessing everything. Hunter Synth, the anatomist. It turned its head slightly, focusing on Kane. Not with violence, with interest, scientific curiosity. Lira stepped between them, snarling. You're not getting near him. The hunter extended a hand. Metal unfolded into a curved triple-segment blade. Lira smirked. Good choice. Everlyn and Kalen arrived in the old maintenance corridor together as the third pod embedded itself into the far wall, sparks spraying over rusted equipment. The pod cracked open violently, tearing itself apart rather than unfolding like the others. This one didn't walk out. It lunged out, jagged crown-like helmet spikes, aggressive angular armor. Brightest visor glow of the 3, a cutting, poisonous green. Its movements were low, prowling, animalistic. Hunter Ferox, the packbreaker. It circled them slowly, movements rapid and twitching like a predator tasting new scent. Everlyn felt its attention snap to her, sharp and hungry. It recognizes you, Kalen murmured. Everlyn's golden eyes narrowed. It's not here for the base, she said quietly. Then what? Kalen asked. Everlyn inhaled, slow, steady. Us. Ferox made a sharp metallic chirp, a signal. All 3 hunters across the base lifted their heads simultaneously. A connection, a command, a hunt beginning. Malik threw a punch. The tracker caught it mid-air, twisted, and drove him into the wall hard enough to crater the steel. Lira lunged at Synth. Their blades sparked, her claws raking across its armor as it studied her reactions in real time. Everlyn and Kalen squared against Ferox, who moved in jittery, impossible bursts, almost teleporting between motions. The mountain shook under the 3 simultaneous impacts of combat. Everlyn's voice roared across the comm system and echoed down the corridors. Pack, defend your own. Hunter Prime slammed Malik again. Hunter Synth dissected Lira's stance mid-fight. Hunter Ferox circled Everlyn and Kalen like a beast deciding where to bite. This was no squad, no scouting party, no mistake. These were specialists, built, trained, engineered, to hunt werewolves. For the first time since the invasion, Everlyn felt a cold ripple across her spine. They're not soldiers, she breathed. They're predators. A metallic echo answered her. the hunters speaking in their own language. A single word repeated across 3 visors. Alpha. Everlyn's glow flared. Come get me then, shook like something alive. Dust fell from steel rafters. Emergency strip lights flashed white across the corridors. And deep below the surface, 3 different battles erupted at once. Everlyn felt every impact, every heartbeat, every spike of danger through the bond that tied her pack together. The hunters had arrived, and the pack had answered. In the lower tunnels, Malik hit the ground hard enough to leave a dent in the steel. The tracker hunter pressed its advantage. Broad, armored, its chest draped in trophies taken from the fallen. Its visor glowed poisonous green. Malik wiped blood from his mouth and pushed to his feet. Come on, hit me like you mean it. The hunter obliged. It slammed him into a pillar. Metal buckled. Malik's ribs snapped, healed, snapped again. He tried to rise. The hunter pinned him. That's when Malik saw them. Down the corridor behind the hunter, a werewolf fire team. Guns ready. 1 soldier bracing a rocket launcher. Malik grinned through broken teeth. With one brutal surge of fury, he grabbed the hunter by the armor and hurled it down the corridor. Light it up! The rocket fired instantly. The explosion tore through the tunnel, shaking the entire level. When the dust settled, the tracker was twitching, armor cracked, half its torso missing. Malik limped toward it, dripping blood, and noticed something glinting on its chest. A necklace. Made from broken werewolf teeth. Malik froze. His expression changed. He ripped the necklace off, knuckles white around the chain. Thought so, he muttered. Then he stomped the hunter's skull. 1 down. Kane leaned against the ventilation wall, breathing shallow, hand over his half-healed wound. Lira stood between him and the approaching hunter Synth. Synth moved with surgical precision. A glowing green biocore capsule hung from a chain on its chest. It scanned Kane repeatedly, not for threat, but fascination. Stay behind me, Lira growled. Kane smirked. You're cute when you're protective. Shut up, she snapped. Synth extended a segmented blade and lunged. Lira met it mid-swing. Claws lighting the corridor with sparks. Synth adapted instantly, adjusting swing angles, recalculating. But Kane noticed its foot placement, its stance shifting to flank Lira. He stuck his leg out. Just enough. Synth stumbled. Lira seized the opening, slammed the hunter into the wall, and ripped out its throat in a clean, brutal arc. Synth collapsed, biocore flickering out. Kane let out a shaky laugh. Terrifying. And hot. Terrifyingly hot. Lira rolled her eyes. Still shut up. The maintenance wing was a narrow steel artery, lit by white overhead strips. Packbreaker crouched low, spiked armor flexing, visor glowing bright green. It moved like a predator. Jerky. Unpredictable. Fast. Kalen shifted slightly, claws extended. It's not testing us, she said softly. It's profiling your fighting style. Everlyn nodded. Let it learn. She lunged first. Kalen followed like a mirrored blade. They struck the packbreaker in synchronized force. Everlyn's power plus Kalen's precision. Packbreaker darted across the walls, fast enough to blur. But they cornered it, slammed it down, pinned it. Armor cracked. Systems sparking. The alien was broken, but not dead. And in the flickering light of its visor, Everlyn saw something. A signal. A command uplink. Monarch. Watching. Kalen whispered. He's seeing everything. Everlyn's eyes narrowed. Good. Malik limped into the hallway, tossing Everlyn the necklace he ripped from the tracker. She caught it. Broken, yellowed werewolf teeth dangled from the chain. Everlyn's face changed. She crouched beside the dying packbreaker, speaking loudly and clearly so the commander in orbit heard every word. You've hunted werewolves before. She let the teeth clatter in her palm. But you've never hunted a human werewolf. Her eyes burned gold. We don't play fair. We fight to win, no matter the cost. And we are very, very devious. She crushed the necklace, teeth cracking into dust, and let the fragments fall onto the packbreaker's chest. Then, she finished the alien with one clean strike. Its visor flickered, then died. Monak's link was severed. No more eyes on them. Only now, with the alien feed broken and the last hunter dead, Everlyn stood. She rolled the dust from her fist, exhaled, and looked at Kalen and Malik. No theatrics, no speech for Orbit. Just truth. A slow, dangerous smirk grew across her face. If they want me up there that badly. She looked upward, past steel, past rock, toward the warship waiting in orbit. Then I'll come up and say hello myself. Kalen's red eyes widened with admiration. Malik cracked a grin despite the pain. Yeah, he muttered. Episode 29, The Shadow of Stone. 2 days after the hunters fell beneath the mountain, the base carried the uneasy quiet of a place that had survived something it wasn't built to endure. Repairs hummed through the halls. Sparks cracked from welding tools. Voices softened to whispers. Wolves moved slower, conserving bruised ribs and aching muscles. But Everlyn felt none of that. Something tugged at her chest. Not pain, not instinct, but memory. A whisper dragging her toward the one place she thought she'd never see again. The ruins where everything changed. Kane limped into the med bay with the half-hearted swagger of a man pretending to be fine. Lira accompanied him like a bodyguard who absolutely expected her patient to do something stupid. Dr. Voss didn't look up. Sit. Shirt off. Don't flirt. Kane blinked. I haven't even... You do. And badly. Sit. Lira elbowed him into the chair. Voss hovered the scanner over his ribs. Golden filaments flickered across the hologram. Threads of living gold weaving tighter than they should. Your healing rate has increased again, Voss murmured. Kane frowned. That's good, right? It's... something, Voss muttered. Medically confusing. Personally irritating. Lira's gaze hardened. Is he in danger? No, just evolving. Voss exhaled. And I dislike surprises. Kane smirked. Lira smacked the back of his head. For one small moment, life almost felt normal. But Everlyn wasn't part of that moment. Not anymore. Rook found her in the command room. He looked exhausted, hair unkempt, uniform wrinkled, voice raw from too many reports and not enough answers. Captain, he began. I need to know what happened. My team's found... whatever that was down there. Scorched walls, torn steel, alien bodies. 3 different impact points. Our scanners didn't detect any of it. How is that possible? Everlyn didn't answer immediately. She simply placed something on the table. A Xarthan hunter helmet. Cracked. Burned. Deep claw marks carved across the visor. Rook recoiled. This isn't a soldier, he said quietly. This is... a hunter, Everlyn replied. And it wasn't here for your base. Rook's voice dropped. Then what were they here for? Us, Everlyn said. A single word heavy enough to tilt the room around it. Rook swallowed. So what now? We take the fight to them. You can't just... I lead my pack, she said, turning away. You lead your base. She left without waiting for his reaction. He didn't follow. He didn't dare. The War Council assembled that afternoon. Wolves in civilian clothes leaned against the walls, their eyes bright with barely hidden restlessness. Human officers hovered stiffly near the holotable. Kalen stood at the front, calm, razor-focused. She activated a 3D schematic of a Xarthan carrier. They transport prisoners from surface raids, humans, research specimens, resistance fighters. They do not expect coordinated infiltration. Kane raised a hand. So, we get caught on purpose? Kalen nodded. Precisely. A human lieutenant paled. That's a suicide strategy. Only if executed poorly, Kalen replied. Lira smirked despite herself. Malik grunted in agreement. Kane opened his mouth to volunteer, and Lira elbowed him again before he could finish the word. Everlyn didn't smile, but something inside her felt distant, detached. Her attention drifted towards something only she could feel. We gather volunteers, she said softly. Human and werewolf. The sooner we board that ship, the less time they have to send more hunters. Rook rubbed his face. We'll need prep, training, analysis. Everlyn was already walking away, because something else called her. Something older. When night fell, she left without a sound. No weapons, no escort, no scent left behind for anyone to follow. She slipped through the forest like a whisper swallowed by darkness. By morning, the pack realized she was gone. Kalen found the empty bunk first. Bed sheets perfectly arranged, the kind of careful neatness Everlyn never used unless she meant to disappear. Lira stormed into the room. She left. She actually left. Malik entered next, posture tense, arms folded across his broad chest. Where would she even go? Kane leaned in the doorway, unusually serious. It's Everlyn. She didn't want us following. Malik scowled. You three are hiding something. Lira looked away. It wasn't our secret. Kalen studied the floor, tracing Everlyn's faint scent to the entrance before it vanished into the wild. She went somewhere she first changed, she said quietly. Somewhere sacred. Somewhere dangerous. Malik's gaze hardened. Then we find her. Kane stepped forward, voice steady and uncharacteristically sharp. No. Everyone turned to him. Kane held his ground. She went alone on purpose. If we chase her, we could ruin whatever she's trying to do, or get in the way. Lyra's breath hitched with frustration. Malik clenched his jaw. Kalen's shoulders lowered with reluctant acceptance. Kane picked up Everlyn's folded blanket. When she needs us, she'll tell us. Kalen nodded. We wait for her. Malik exhaled hard through his nose, grounding himself with the decision. The pack went still. Not out of fear, out of trust. Trust in their alpha. The temple stood nestled beneath jagged cliffs, bathed in moonlight like a monument carved from ghosts. Everlyn stepped through the cracked archway and felt an old feeling stir in her chest. A memory of crawling across these stones, half dead, half born. The place hadn't changed, but she had. She noticed them almost immediately. Statues, dozens, maybe more. Tall gargoyles perched on ledges and broken beams, wings folded, claws resting on stone knees. Their carved eyes followed her with unnerving focus. Everlyn swallowed. How did I miss you? A metallic click echoed through the ruins. Everlyn's claws half-formed as she turned. 3 Xarthan patrol soldiers stepped into the courtyard, scanning devices humming softly. Human detected, one rasped. Remain still. Everlyn tensed, but before anyone moved, a horrible tearing sound ripped through the night. Half of one soldier landed at her feet. Everlyn flinched backward. What the hell? The second soldier fired wildly. A massive stone shadow dropped onto him, seized him by the chest, and dragged him screaming into the dark. The scream cut off all at once. Everlyn's pulse hammered. She looked at the statues. They weren't still. They weren't stone. The last soldier backed away, and a colossal stone hand curled around him, squeezing until his armor buckled and bones snapped. Silence swallowed the ruins. Everlyn stood frozen, breath trembling. One gargoyle stepped into the moonlight, wings shifting with the sound of grinding stone. Massive, ancient, aware. Everlyn's voice cracked softly. What are you? The gargoyle's reply rumbled like mountains shifting. A guardian of this place. Everlyn's breath hitched. Guarding what? Its amber eyes narrowed. The old blood. What your kind once were. Everlyn felt a chill crawl up her spine. Why reveal yourselves now? The gargoyle stepped closer. Because you returned. And because the stone remembers your scent. Her throat tightened. You expected me. All who are marked come seeking truth. Everlyn lifted her chin, voice steadying. I'm here for answers. The gargoyle shifted aside, revealing a hidden passage carved into the temple's deepest chamber. A place she had never seen. Then enter, the guardian said, and seek what you are looking for. Everlyn hesitated at the threshold, then stepped into the darkness. The gargoyle followed, and every statue in the courtyard seemed to turn its head as she disappeared inside. Something ancient stirred, waiting for her.